My story started in Alabama. I was born to a somewhat of a poor family in a rural community, and was really invested in church. I came from a long line of pastors and knew very clearly the difference between right and wrong. When I was 10 years old, my father got sick with cancer. 4 months into his diagnosis, he ended up passing away. I didn't have a whole lot to pour myself into because of where we lived, so I decided to invest in learning to play the drums. Upon graduating, I decided that I wanted to pursue this as my living, and so I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I was lucky enough at that time, after a lot of no's and a lot of hard work, to land some jobs touring with some popular bands. One of the things that I didn't realize I was going to be facing when I was in Nashville and touring was the pressures of using drugs and seeing alcohol abuse.
I really did not have an adult mentor in my life at all. I pretty much had set myself up for failure. I had quit playing sports. I didn't have many friends outside of my boyfriend's friends. I wasn't respectful to my parents. I wasn't open or honest with them very often. I was in a very inappropriate relationship in high school. I dated the same boy for 3.5 years. I gave up all my outside interests to spend time with him. I let go of all my friends, and my friends became his friends. So I was pretty stuck in that relationship. It became my whole world.
I am a product of a single parent home. My mom worked 4 jobs most of my life, but she would always tell me, you know, education is your opportunity, your outlet to be better than I am, you know, to have more than what we have now. She would always say, you know, you can have caviar dreams and tuna fish money. I did have a pretty, what some would consider risky or at-risk behavior upbringing, being that, you know, we were in the lower socioeconomic community there in Memphis, Tennessee. But we had several organizations that, you know, that I was a part of, several programs that I was able to be a part of. And so my story is that I'm that kid. I'm that, you know, 9th grader, that on-point target.
I quickly turned the addiction into a career of selling drugs. It took away everything that meant so much to me before, the passion that I had for playing drums, the passion I had for my family, my career. It all was gone because of drug abuse. Selling the drugs quickly led to my indictment from the Drug Enforcement Agency. I was federally convicted of distributing methamphetamine and was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison for my first offense. I think I always thought that if I were to get caught the first time, I could get out of it. The reality is that's not true. I had one individual as a correctional officer when I was incarcerated that I always believed saw something in me that I never saw in myself. Her trust in me developed a feeling that was better than any drug I could have ever used.
Without any adult mentor speaking common sense or healthy lifestyle choices into my life, it wasn't long before I was in a sexual relationship that led to an unplanned pregnancy at 15. In 10th grade, I made the biggest regret of my life, and I chose to have an abortion.
It's hard when you're transitioning to, you have a large group of friends and you go to a point where you want to be around people who are like you. When I joined On Point, I feel like it was more validation that you're not alone in this. There's other kids out there that are believe in their future, that want to make good grades, they want to be leaders in the community, they want to see a change, and they're willing to be that change.
In 9th grade, I felt like I had a harder time with peer pressure because a lot of my friends were making choices that I didn't want to make, but they would kind of guilt me into doing the things that they were doing. But I know I didn't want to be that way. And now as time has progressed, I know that that's not who I want to be. So being on Point has helped me to lead by example by watching my other peers lead by example.
My passion is driven because, you know, I sit here now a few months away from becoming Dr. LaQuisha Ewing, but at one point I was LaQuisha Tibbs, 14 years old, Memphis, Tennessee, single mom, crime-ridden community, you know, not the best schools, but God has afforded me an opportunity, and On Point provides that same type of opportunity for the kids here in Hamilton County and the surrounding areas.
I feel my story has made me have a special place for On Point in several aspects. I feel like teens are in such a critical stage of their life. There's so many decisions that have to be made. Teens are our next leaders. They're also our next inmates. It's very important to me to support an agency like On Point that recognizes and realizes the valuable asset we have in young people, and I'm proud to be a supporter of On Point.
It's because you see students get it. You see the common sense, healthy lifestyle choices that we're presenting to them start to click. If I can prevent another 15-year-old girl from facing that same decision, then I'm going to show up week after week.